order. We can roll call. Roy? Seaham? Vicky?
Here.
I am here. Terry?
Here.
Kimmy?
Here.
Okay, I will entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any commentary? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, approval of the minutes, April 15, 2026. When anyone is ready, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes. New business, Eagle Scout project at the Nature Center. I believe we have a special guest.
Yes, thank you, Chair, members of the commission. We are lucky enough to have with us tonight, and you know what, Oscar, I was going to ask you how to pronounce your last name. I never did. Is it Kleider?
Yeah, Clyder.
Guessed right. All right, we have Oscar Kleider here, and he is working to obtain his Eagle Scout certification, and he chose the Nature Center, lucky for us, as the area for his project. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and he's going to tell you all about it.
All right, is this working?
Yep, it should be
Okay.
on. And then, like I said, you can just use the clicker to, can we have the, yep, perfect. All right. If we can have the computer up on the big screen. In the control room, if we could have the computer up on the screen, please. And then Oscar, if you want to just, like I said, it's your first screen, so I'll let you tell us about yourself once. Oh, we're still waiting for it. Do you want to go see? Well, if you want to tell them a little bit about who you are, Oscar, we'll get started, and then Neil's going to go talk to the
All right,
gentleman in the
so
booth.
my name is Oscar, and I'm working on my Eagle project, like she said, at the Maplewood Nature Center. And I am a Life Scout, and I've been in scouting since I was in kindergarten, and I am currently a freshman, and I am, like I said, working on my Eagle project. This Eagle project will be rebuilding parts of the Maplewood Nature Center play area. This will include a bench swing, a ladder bridge, a balance beam, and a tic-tac-toe and chessboards on the picnic tables. The dates for this will be Saturday, June 6th, 8:30 to 4:30 p.m., which will be assembly. Sunday, June 7th, 1 to 4 p.m. will be painting and staining the wood after we assemble it. And if weather does not permit these,
That's okay. Usually, if he wants to present it, we can stand for questions at the end.
if the weather does not permit this, then the backup dates will be June 8th to 10th, or later in the summer. So this is what the Maplewood Nature Center currently looks like, and this is what I envision it to look like after the project. As you can see, the bench swing, the ladder bridge, the balance beam, and the tic-tac-toe and chessboards. To make sure all my plans meet all requirements, meeting and emails have been done with Caitlin Bergstrom from the Maplewood Park and Rec, Maplewood Park Maintenance Supervisor, Maplewood Playground Maintenance Supervisor, Maplewood Friends of Maplewood, Scout leaders with Northern Star Scouting and Troop 434. Some safety steps that I have taken is I've met with multiple professionals, including a playground safety inspector and park maintenance. There will be a first aid kit on site. There will be safety gear provided for everyone. Scouting America safety checklists and resources, and then foods and drinks will be provided in pre-cutting wood. How much money will I need? I will need around $1,500, and I need it by May 30th so that we can order it. And then this is a poster for if you wanted to donate. And then I just have a quote from the founder of Scouting. Leave this world a little better than you found it, by Robert Baden-Powell. And, thank you for listening to my presentation. Any questions?
What made you choose the Maplewood Nature Center as a project that you wanted to do?
Because when I was a kid, I played there a lot, and I was like sad to hear that it was no longer there. And I'm like, that'd be a great idea for Eagle Project.
Are you asking for others to help you? Is that what you're, that day for painting and putting together? Do you have people already set up, or how's that working?
We already have some people signed up, in scouting. I've had my troop sign up. Some of them have volunteered to do that, but we also will most likely have it open
Okay.
for people to help.
And Oscar, can you share a little bit about the Friends meeting that you went to with? They'd be interested in hearing about the meeting you went to.
The meeting I went to, it was, I don't remember the date, but it was with the Friends of Maplewood board, and I presented there. I presented a lot less than I am here, but I went there and they were okay. They seemed like the plan was good to them, and yeah.
Have you raised any money of the 1,500 yet, or are you looking for the full 1,500 still, or?
Right now, we have raised, as I checked around dinner, which was like at 5, right now we have $1,085, I believe.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So it's going really good right now. And yeah, we're on track.
Yeah, and one thing, just because I know you told us, but they'll be interested in hearing why the variety of like the different things, especially your idea about the boards, just how it works in with the other scouts. Because I thought that was really cool that you did things at different levels for scouting ability.
Oh, yeah, so Scouting of America has regulations on building. Like, younger scouts cannot use saws unless if they have a toting chit, they call it. And that makes it so that you can use, like, sharp objects, because we don't want people who don't know how to use them using them. So that's where the tic-tac-toe and chessboards come in, because that will mainly just be painting, so that they can do it, and everybody has something to do.
And then I don't know if it is evident on there, but they'll paint that on the picnic tables, and then, can you explain the pieces? Because I thought that was kind of cool how you're doing that.
The pieces will most likely just be like rocks and maybe, no, probably just rocks, painted rocks.
Oh, that's nice, though. Very cool. Sounds like you put a lot of time into this. Very impressive.
Yeah, and like we said, he met out at the Nature Center, and I will say early because he's very busy, and so, was it 7 a.m. you met us out there to meet with the park maintenance crew, because they work 6:30 to 2:30, so 7 a.m. they were out at the Nature Center meeting with park maintenance to talk about building regulations for equipment and safety, and our playground safety inspector, like Oscar mentioned, we talked over the plan and then they refined it, so yeah, he's put a lot of time and thought into it, so.
I appreciate that you've done your due diligence and taken all these meetings. That's an important step in the process that some people might not think of, but I'm glad you went through all the steps to meet all the appropriate parties involved in this situation, so thank you.
As an Eagle mom, I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
This is so cool. And what grade did you say you were in?
9th grade.
Ninth grade. You're doing your project almost early, but that's great. And I heard you're a Life Scout, so that's awesome. Great work. I think the pieces that you used are so unique. I never would have thought about a tic-tac-toe board that you can do upright standing, or just something as simple as your balance beam. Like, I know that as a kid, and a lot of kids, I see them doing it, walking on the curbs, walking on the sidewalk. So how perfect. So great.
Great job.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I'm excited to see it once it's done.
Thank you guys.
Okay, thanks, Oscar.
So will we share this code out online?
Yeah, actually, and I think, did I see that you had on just because I follow, I don't know if it was the North St. Paul Facebook page or something, that you had put out the fundraiser. So it is on social media, so if you wanted to send that link to me or whatever, we could, you know, maybe give it to the commission. They'd probably be
Yeah.
happy to share it out for you, so.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah. You can use secure, but they could share it on their social media too, maybe. But yes, you can just,
And all money, extra money.
oh,
does-
can I have you go up to the mic? Yeah.
Sorry, all money he does receive extra will go back to the Friends of Maplewood Nature Center, just to make sure it keeps helping that park there.
Okay, great, thanks. All right, well, thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, thank you.
Good night. All right.
Next on the agenda, we have a recreation update from Neil Brenneman, Recreation Program Supervisor.
Thank you, Chair, members of the commission. I'm just going to get him ready. Set here. We'll just keep with the computer. And yes, tonight we have Neil Brenneman here with us to give you an update on all things recreation and the department, everything from facilities to programming to special events. And so I'm just going to turn it over to you, Neil, if you want to turn on your mic.
Thanks, Audra. And Chair, Commission members, thanks for being here tonight, and I'd love to go over this with you. Just give me 1 second.
There you go.
Clicker, perfect. All right, so first we kind of just wanted to recap some of the events that our department was in, and many of you as well. We have, and most of these kind of roll over year to year. We had some kind of tweaks here and there, but we had the January photo contest, and for this year coming up, we made a change specifically to this one. The submission, we weren't getting a ton of submissions for the January one, so we made a change, and we did March and April this year, so we kind of gave it a 2-month, like a spring version of it. And we did get a lot more participation in it, just moving it even a couple of months. We have another one that we do in July for the month of July, so there's a couple different seasonal views, but we wanted to make a tweak just to see if we can drop some more interest, and it happened to work out this year, just pushing it back a little bit. We have the Easter egg hunt, and that one, everything went great. That's one of the, Terry is there, if you're helping out in the beginning too, but it's a great event to kind of start off the season with, so we enjoy that one a lot. The Earth Week Challenge, that one's kind of a self-guided, just kind of jumpstart to this spring, getting the park clean up. We just ask if people are interested to go out, take a picture of themselves, whether enjoying a park, picking up trash, or just kind of a challenge to help us get started and celebrate Earth Day. So they have the spring cleanup every year. That's a massive undertaking and
And Jason-
well attended.
Because Jason was there volunteering. So.
I was there with the Lions volunteering, and I'd never been before, and I couldn't believe how big it was and how many people kept rolling through, and it was really a pretty intense event, but the amount of coordination it took from everybody involved to make it happen, I wouldn't want to be the one doing it. But it worked. It went off without a hitch, so congrats.
Then we have our kind of first summer foray is our National Get Outdoors Day treasure hunt, and that's in June. That'll be June 13th. We'll have we'll have a flyer kind of at the end of this too, but that's where we hide we had a golden Frisbee. It's our kind of gold yellow Parks and Natural Resources Frisbee at one of our parks, and then we establish some clues, and we pop out the clues every 10 minutes starting at 8 o'clock on that day, and it's a little bit of a hunt that people can run around in. And we're going to dial up the difficulty a little bit this year. Last year, someone just happened to they picked a park to go to, kind of central, and they're at that park. The first clue hit, and they just happened to randomly pick the park that they were at, and they were there, and they had it within after the first clue went, because they just happened to be at that exact park.
I think
So
it was 15 minutes or less.
it was
over.
I was bummed because we put a lot of time into those clues, and I thought that was gonna be really good. And then I'm like, what?
So this year, no one's going to find it.
We're gonna have to make it very obscure the first few, but that's a lot of fun. There's a lot of people that look forward to doing that. So that's kind of a fun deal each year. Then we have the July photo contest. I kind of mentioned that previously. And then as we kind of get more into the summertime, we have the large community outreach events, the July Celebrate Summer event at Afton and the August Celebrate Summer event at Edgerton. And then that goes into the Friday fireworks in September at Hazelwood. And then each year, the last 4 years, I think it's been now, our departments participate in the trunk or treat event at City Hall. And one the picture in the top right corner there was our Nevermore Academy theme we did last year. So that's a big one. Public safety takes the lead on that event, and that's it's a fun one. It's a fun one to go to, and we like to get some of our creative juices flowing for that one and see what kind of thing we can come up with. So those are the kind of recap of events last year. This year will be similar lineup, some new additions at each of them. So. And then our Rev Sports program that we work with Revolutionary Sports, and we offer those classes at Edgerton. Just a way to kind of keep supplementing and having class options for sports that rotate through. We made another tweak this year for the 26 classes where you see Saturdays there's a gameplay session. Previously, it was just classes. We do just like a clinic-based class, or they would offer it on a Thursday and then a different one on a Saturday. And we met after 2025 and kind of brainstormed some ideas to try to drum up some more registrations. And one of the things that we talked about was doing a less competitive, league-based in a way where it's more, they're playing more game action than clinic action. So if someone did the clinics or just wanted to learn the sports, like my daughter did last year, she did the basketball one, absolutely loved it. But then they wanted to take that next step and do some more games, but didn't want to maybe join a league necessarily. That's what that Saturday gameplay kind of option is for. There's a number of leagues around around the city, depending on the sports you're looking for and the associations. So they want to go into a full league type situation there. So that's why I think the gameplay was a good kind of midpoint option. We offer youth scholarships regularly. I got one that came in today actually as well for this year. As you can see, one sport on Thursday, one sport on Saturday, and we rotate through seasonally every couple of sessions. We'll do maybe 3-4 week sessions. They'll kind of schedule out, and then they'll rotate to a new sport based on that season. So the YMCA offers programs as well, and you all are obviously well aware of some of the gym floor situation that they have going on at the facility over there. So right now, a lot of their internal sports offerings at the YMCA are temporarily on hold until that gym floor situation is resolved. But in speaking with them, it's a temporary pause, and they're going to be want to fire that all up again when they're able to. We do offer the adult volleyball league is still happening, and we actually host that at Edgerton, and they still do pickleball on site at the Y. They do have their summer camp going this year as well. The Community Ed District 622 Community Ed Partnership. I do want to jump back one second if I can. So one of the things the Y has done too is they've been at almost all of our Celebrate Summer events and our Friday fireworks events. They want a lot of these too, but they reaching out to the community, and that's one of the things that is really good about these events is being able to get other community groups in front of people in the community, in the crowd, so here's some of the offerings that each of these groups have, whether it's sports related or not, and I'll kind of circle into some of those as we get kind of down into the things, but they've been great about kind of trying to be in the events and be around and ask them when they're at so that they can try to put stuff out there. So just wanted to make sure I made a note of that.
They were at the volunteer fair, very active, and they were handing out free passes, so.
Yes.
People who don't have memberships can check it out and see what it's about. I got 10.
And one of the things I did want to kind of circle back to a little bit before I jump into this one is kind of jumping on that, getting community organizations and groups in front of the community, in front of people in the community. So at the Celebrate Summer events and the Friday Fireworks events, I just want to kind of run down a little bit of the groups that were there, whether they're volunteering or handing out information, just as kind of a shout out to them, but also just kind of the wide range of different things that we have at those events for people to show up to. Some of for anybody looking for sports information, some of the sports-related groups that were there this past summer were the Northeast United Soccer Club. They were there for all of them too. Oakdale Athletic Association. They have, after talking with them this year, they've grown a lot with registrations from Maplewood, North St. Paul, Oakdale, and part of that is being felt on our fields now too, is where this year they're using currently even a lot more like baseball fields, softball fields, which is good because we're seeing kids from, whether it's Maplewood or North St. Paul or Oakdale, but specifically we're being able to provide them with some field space for their programs as well. So that's kind of what we want to see as we continue to move down, and provide people, groups the opportunity to, hey, here's what we can do around here too, if you want. St. Paul Pigs and Amazon.
Is Goodrich the only one that has baseball right now?
We have Afton, Goodrich, Geranium, Edgerton, Gladstone. Oh yeah, yep. Gethsemane's being used to. They're using Flea Check, Robin Hood. There's a number, a lot more of our ancillary ones that hadn't been used kind of as much in the past are being used now again this year, which is good for the fields because any additional play they get on them is beneficial for them just for upkeep and stuff too. But yeah, it's a lot, probably an additional 6 fields this year that haven't really been used a ton in the past, kind of more intermittent, but St. Paul Pigs and Amazon's Rugby were there at the events as well, and they've been kind of a partner at Afton, which we'll kind of get to in the facilities updates. But then we had a number of community groups that were there providing info and just general knowledge. The YMCA was there. The Maplewood Lions, of course, were there. We had School District 622's early learning program for kind of people just getting into the school age, the younger school age, so kind of non-sports related, but community information. Ramsey County 4-H, Ramsey County Child and Teen Checkup. We had mosquito control at one of the events, which was an interesting meet, but there's a lot of interesting knowledge that they were able to relay to people that were interested about mosquitoes and needs. The Minnesota Department of Health was there for one of them, just give it, radon tests, things like that, just stuff that you may not even really think of. And 3M Wizards were there for all of them. We also added the St. Paul Regional Water had their water truck at the events. We got to eliminate plastic bottles from and all the mini bottles from the events, which was great as well. So I'll move on from there, but I just wanted to kind of highlight some of the groups that were there, just to kind of give an idea on the
Neil,
spectrum.
are we inviting those groups, or do they reach out? Or what?
Yes, so yep. So it actually happens both ways. Though some of them have already reached out again for this year, and everybody will be getting an email in the next day or two with kind of the specific invite for this year. But we had the Mosquito Control and Minnesota Department of Health both reached out to us last year from other people other departments in their realm, or one. I think the gentleman from the Minnesota Department of Health is from Maplewood, I believe, and happened to see it and wanted to figured they'd be able to, provide some information to the community that he's in, so.
And I can just add, because you asked the question, when we had Washington County here to talk about that regional trail plan, they also have another trail that they're going to be bringing forward, but they are looking for outreach in Maplewood to get the word out about these projects, and so they most likely will be joining us for the events as well. So that'll be, it kind of came out of them meeting here, and it's like, how can we get the word out to more of the community? So yeah, it kind of works both ways. It's nice.
So kind of dialing back here to the community ed partnership. So we're work specifically with kind of one of the major departments there is the Community Bridge Group. It's adults with disabilities, and they offer some classes on site, but just more like some of them are outdoors and they don't necessarily need access to the building, but they like to have a place to be able to go and be outside with nature. They are periodically they'll have one where they'll use the building inside for something. And we work with them on that as they come up. But one of the ones that they do have this year is they're doing, I believe it's end of July or early August, the DIY fairy garden jar. So one of the things that I asked from them this year was information like this so we can share it on social media pages and stuff. It's a little bit, it's not, there's specific requirements, obviously, to be able to sign up for these ones. They have to be able to, it's the Community Bridge Program, and not everybody can sign up for it, obviously. But being able to help let people know that that's an option out there if someone didn't know that what the program was or if it existed, and so we're able to kind of help out that way as well. And they did. He's been asking that they shared like the photo contest page and some other event calendars and stuff too. So we're kind of starting that portion of a relationship of just kind of being able to help cross market stuff too, which is nice. Ramsey County 4-H has been we've kind of found a nice sweet spot for what we've been doing with them, and it's been half day classes on District 622 school out days specifically. So some of them are kind of random in the middle of the week, but that's by design when there's no school for the district that the majority of Maplewood is in. And they regularly have 10, 12, 15 kids in them, which is super fun. They're very hands-on activities when they do stuff, and it's a lot of fun for me to be able to watch them and see them and judge the drinks they made at the winter food and drink one, which was scary. Seeing some of all the concoctions they put together, but got roped into that, which was fun. And we're continuing that partnership. They've also come to, like I said, all of the special events and getting their information out and stuff too. So, Friends of Maplewood.
They do that at the nature center then?
Yep.
Okay.
Correct. Yep. Friends of Maplewood Nature is a big group or a big connection partnership. That's as you can see from a lot of the other presentations that you guys get to see is they're involved with a lot of behind the scenes kind of things at the Nature Center too, but also kind of front and center with some stuff. One of the regarding the kind of the program side is they have the Gnome Challenge that they put on every year. It's a fun event. I always get the email, hey, when are the gnomes starting up? When are the gnomes starting up? And so we enjoy being able to see people come in and have the information. We post their flyers up and share that information for them, as well as the photo contest on our end. They help market that, and they provide the donations for like the gift cards for the photo contest. And they also have some of the major ones that have happened recently of donations for improvements in and around the facility there. The interpretive signage, that'll be some new signage outside and inside the building, a pollinator garden, and the native plantings in the bird area, the bird feeder area. birdseed and gift card for prizes, as I had mentioned before, and also just knowledge sharing, and they've got a lot of knowledge, just all kinds of different things, and going back and bouncing stuff off them, and then and checking in with them on ideas and stuff too, and like the Eagle Scout project, it's good feedback, and it's a good relationship there. So they're always open. One of the big connections they made to one of the things that we'll talk about coming up is they, in one of their other conversations with a county employee, it happened to kind of spur and roll downhill into a new conversation for an exciting partnership coming up now. That's actually going to be starting in next month. And that is Ramsey County Parks and Recreation offering new youth program, like younger kids programs too. We had like ISD 622 has offered some of those adult programs, and then also their community bridge programs. And we've been wanting to try to fill some of that youth gap. And this was just a new connection that was made with a new staff that's kind of starting there with them. And she's super excited, super gung-ho. We met out on site a month ago when it was a torrential downpour, so she got to walk about half the trail before just like this, everything opened up and started hailing and stuff. But she was she's all in. She loves working with kids, and so all these ones that we see here are going to be like 2 years old, starting kind of and up. So some younger, getting them into nature early, and those will start in July, toward end of July, and she's also, I don't know if they'll be coming or not, but she wanted to be kept in the loop on those on the Celebrate Summer events and stuff too, to be able to send some of the information out. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm super excited. She's super excited, and we're gonna kind of start with this, about 5-6 classes, see how that goes, and try to build on from there. So. Really exciting stuff happening there. They're going to come out on Friday or Tuesday with her instructors, and she's bringing the instructors on for a site visit to kind of walk around and check the facility out. So that is good stuff there. And then wanted to move on to facilities updates. Wakefield, it just keeps getting busier and busier and busier, which is great. And one of those things where we try to focus and spend time and things that are going well and that we're doing well, and continue to improve on those too. So we're gonna do a little bit of a. You can kind of look at the numbers, but the long and short of it, both Wakefield and Edgerton both had year-over-year increases. Wakefield's done it for like 4 years in a row. So I'm actually trying to fill some staff for a lot of like weekday business type meetings, rentals, which is the next shoe to drop. As once those start filling up, then it'll be even kind of jumping off more from there. But with regards to the gym, so this for the next 3 summers, the gym will be closed during the summer, pretty much from May until school starts end of August. And it's our lighter time of the year anyways, but so that may be impacted in some of the rentals moving forward for the next couple of years. But it's
Neil, it's due to renovations, correct? And they're adding like air conditioning, which they didn't previously have, so it'll be really nice to have air conditioning in the Edgerton gym.
they're doing construction on the school, like renovations in the school, and the gym's essentially the construction staging point for a lot of equipment and stuff. But then with regard, like Audra said, with that is the AC, which will be very nice for summertime. Picnic shelters, you can see there, we did have a drop in picnic shelters. Part of that, or I think most of it, is we ended up, there was construction all around Wakefield Park last year, around early September for the street project around Hazelwood and Prosperity. And with shelters being rented and the building being rented, it was just too much congestion without having the parking lots. So we ended up not issuing permits or renting permits to the two shelters at Wakefield, September and October, essentially. So that was a large kind of temporary hit there, but the parking lots and the streets now are amazing, so that's good. One of the things I did do is I updated for both Wakefield and the picnic shelters, updated and streamlined the applications. I would get a lot of questions on which parks had, or which shelters had this or which shelters had that, so I try to put a little icon thing together in the application. That's what's on the screen now, so people know which ones have electricity. They all have playgrounds and the other icons, but just trying to make it trying to update and make things a little more user friendly when we can. And fields update. Last year was the biggest field permit issue year that since I've been here, I don't know, last 10 years probably. And part of that kind of leads to some of the fields get used a lot, especially at Hazelwood. And one of the things we really focused on last year was kind of a renewed focus on making sure that we maintain the fields and we close them down and we rehab them and update them as needed. They all need to be rested right now. So last year we closed down 2 fields after the club soccer tournament, after NEU soccer tournament. Haven't been issuing new permits there for the last couple of years just because we're at capacity. And then this year we're doing the same. So those 2 fields that we did close down, we're putting in, they're cutting out the goalie box, some center field areas. They're putting in sod, black dirt, updating, kind of seeding, slit seeding, aerating, and just maybe letting it grow and then putting signs out. And it definitely helps and it's needed. And we meet every year. We kind of go over a new plan, which field, how we're going to do it. And this year we're closing one of them, and we'll just keep rotating them through the next couple of years until we get them all taken care of, and then we'll see where the other harvest situation's at, and we'll be at Hazelwood at that point for starting that planning process there too. We added fields at Playcrest to help with removing the field at Hazelwood. So we added actually 2 soccer fields at Playcrest. We have a small one, a 7v7, and we have a full size that's been there, but we added a small one there a couple years, 2 years ago, and now we added a 9v9 on the inside of that field too. So we're kind of moving some of that the games and moving them from Harvest or from Hazelwood to Playcrest as needed while we're doing those projects. So rugby fields, it continues to get. I've gotten a few more rugby groups. There's more rugby groups than I realized there were that want to host games at the pitch at Afton. And I think for those of you that were on the Parks trip recently, they were able to see the new sign or bleachers that were there over the last 2 years. The Amazons and the Pigs are the rugby. The St. Paul Jazz Pigs they've really taken to that park, and they're all about continuing to improve the infrastructure there, which is great. And each year has been kind of something new, just something small each year. And one of the things we're excited about is them being at the events and getting in the community and getting rugby in front of kids, really. And that's what one of their main focuses now is getting that out, getting rugby, the sport, in front of the youth, because that's where they come from there. So they're really invested in, like the picture there was one at their pig roast last year. And they ran a small kind of fun kids clinic while they were there. And we're looking at working with them on trying to do a kind of youth rugby camp in the future. So we're excited kind of about that opportunity as well. And I had mentioned already kind of the ball field usage for OAA. One of the things that we've been doing is with the different associations that do play in Maplewood, Roseville, OAA, and then we have a number of schools that do games there too. It is a big juggling act to make sure to try to get fields where we can. So we work together, and I kind of coordinate that amongst the other groups. But it's the need for fields is popped up again, which is nice, and it's the coordination is a little time consuming on the front end in early May, but I've also we've been working together with the kind of the main players for each of the groups, and they've been working together nicely too, just communicating and helping out with that. So one of the things I've kind of done in the past when I've ended just the general thing is each year I try to take one of the items that's one of those kind of always in the background things and try to revamp it and just tweak it, update it, refresh it, push it back out. 2 years ago, we did, it was kind of 2 years worth of geocache program. We tweaked it one year and then kind of did a second portion. This year was, other than the applications for the shelter rentals and the building rental, the big one that I'm kind of working through now is the Adopt a Park process and the Adopt a Park program in general. We've got the application before was pretty long and legalese more than maybe needed to be. So wanted just trying to reduce some of the barrier and the intimidation to joining that program. And simple one pager. There's a second page that has kind of activities you can do and just general guidelines and recommendations. And two of the major things we did is one of them I tried to do a visual, or I created a visual map that is embedded on the page, and we can click on that and we can show you that in a second. But also gave people the option for recognition, right? So when people adopt a park, a lot of times there'll be signs at parks. We also have turnover that happens fairly regularly with people that adopt a park and then they leave or they're not there. We don't have a ton of long timers, the Lions being one of them, the Herd Family and Friends being one of them. There's a few out there that have been around for quite a while. So what we've done is that map allows us to be able to say who has adopted this park if they want to be recognized online for that. They don't have to be. It can just be adopted and that's it. But it's a good opportunity for people to be able to let them know that if I'm adopting this park or my business or my group or whoever, and then still work in progress on figuring out if and when would we want to do a signed placard for a park. Like what would be that level of how many years continuous commitment that we don't, so it's not putting it up and then taking it down, putting it up, taking it down as groups kind of come and go. But that's part of the discussion that Audrey and I are having. But I wanted to try to do more active with this kind of revamp, more active promotion of people that are adopting the park. So I have one of the things in the email that gets sent out to everybody when they adopt a park is send me some pictures of your action, right? Your adopters in action. And when we get them, then I put them in a folder currently, and then I want to do posts on social media and say, whether it's at the beginning or the end of the season, or when I get a few good ones, put them up there and just say, hey, thanks to these groups for adopting these parks. Here's some, some action shots of what they've done. Again, just to provide some additional kind of call outs and shout outs for that. And that's all obviously up to the groups that are doing it. If they don't they just want to do it on their own, they don't want to be sending the pictures, that's totally fine too. But it's just a way to try to make it known. And one of the next big things I want to do is work with our communications department and kind of put together, whether it's a small video, a quick promotional video, or even just a campaign, a social media campaign to really drive the adoption percentage up for the parks.
Yeah, and one thing we found, in the old days, just because it was always done that way, the shop at Public Works would make a metal sign and put someone's name if they adopted a park, and then if somebody did go away, but with this approach that Neil's taking, it actually gets more out there, so maybe a business, it gets it on social media, gets it out there, and it can be changed, and I think it's gonna reach a lot more people than a little sign that's put in a park, and so we think this will be a good change, and it'll be easier, like Neil said, to move, so if someone can only do it for a year, we're not putting a sign up and then having to go take it down, so we'll see how that goes.
One of the things, if I can pop on here, I'm gonna try something here and see if it works. So,
I had a question on how you guys would like choose who would basically be like elected to like, or like if they did the application, like how would you choose if they would be able to like adopt the park or not? Like how would the application process be kind of?
Yeah, and I believe it's kind of first come, first serve. If there's a group or students or whoever wants to do it, if the park is available, and that's one thing about the map that was created, you'll be able to go online in real time and see if this park is adopted or it's not, and then it's really it. If you just make the commitment to do it, and we'll check in, and then if you decide, this is more than we can handle and we don't want to do it anymore, to just let us know, and then we can pivot a little quicker too with the online and switch it up. But the only criteria really is if you're willing to commit to the time and at least, if it's once a week or once a month, just to commit to going and picking up trash and keeping an eye on things. Some people could just monitor, what's happening in the park. It's nice to have extra eyes and people out in the parks to let us know. So if we have monitors at a lot of our open space sites and things, and weekly they'll send us emails saying, we saw this, there was someone here, this gate's broken, and it's just valuable help because we just can't be all places at all times. But is there any other minimum criteria that you can think of that I'm missing?
no, that's a good question too. There are some parks where if we get a second group that's interested in adopting it, there's parks that are large enough that could handle more than one group.
And it doesn't necessarily have to even be a park. If you want to adopt a trail, if you want to adopt, like I said, an open space, somebody might want to come out to the nature center and just keep up the play yard, and just to make sure it stays, like, we're open to whatever, but we just, any help we can get from volunteers is so valuable for us. So. But yes, and there's no age minimum. We've got parents and children that do it. We've had scout groups adopt Wakefield before. So lots of different groups, like Neil said, Jason and the Lions, they've adopted Joy Park. And how many years have you done that?
Before my time.
Yeah, long time, yeah.
Probably way more than that, but I've been doing it for a very long time.
All right. Well, that.
Just out there once every other month, so it's not like
Yep.
if you adopt, you don't have to be there
Nope.
every week on Friday.
Yep.
And that's a great point. That's one of the things that I removed from the application because it's a requirement of at least once a month, and at that point it was the point is to have people
Willing to help.
being out there, whether it's and like we put on there cleanup once a month is encouraged, but that's not requirement. And that's where like Joy Park, for example, that'd be a park big enough for if there's multiple groups that wanted to do it. But yeah, it was. I'll go back here. All right. And that is all I have for you. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
I had more of a comment maybe. Obviously, the rentals at Wakefield are going up and up and up and up and up, and I'm sure that you have to turn people away at times because you're triple, double booked. I would think the next obvious move would be to make one of our other spaces as attractive so we could start spreading the wealth, so to speak, so people, start seeing other parks as they see Wakefield.
I agree with that. It is definitely it's shown itself to be a need for sure. And I think that would be something as far as consideration for the master plans moving forward would be to kind of have that up here ready for us to kind of look at.
I mean, Wakefield's obviously premier, it's beautiful, but there isn't a reason over a period of years that we couldn't develop another park into, that with a new building or, whatever, so.
Yep.
Something to think about.
Yep, and chair members of the commission, that's one thing with the Harvest Park Master Plan. There's, in the different phases, there will be larger shelters there. As we begin the Hazelwood Master Plan going forward, it's like, what will the facilities look at Hazelwood, since that's the park where we do fireworks and we have our big soccer. So those are definitely all things that we'll get into deeper detail, especially I think when we start the Hazelwood Master Plan, because that park has the parking, it hits the facility, it's our large community athletic park, and so that would be definitely a conversation to have. Right.
One of the things, actually, I neglected to mention when we were talking about Adopt a Park was at our Celebrate Summer events, I feel like it might, if the commission would be interested in providing having some packets there over the Adopt a Park program and at the table. Because I know each year we kind of have something that we've been pushing, and I think that would be a great opportunity to be able to do it. And if that's something that the commission would be interested in, I would love to.
If you want to be a
Square
vendor at Celebrate Summer, you have to adopt a park.
There you
Bingo.
go.
New rule.
There you go. All right. Well, thanks, Neil. Thank you very much for that update. Any other questions for Neil? Okay.
Thank you.
You gonna say? Okay.
We are on to unfinished business. The first discussion will be Coleman Park.
Thank you, Chair, members of the commission. And these, I listed these as items under unfinished business, they're just brief updates, but I wanted to, on these important projects, just to give you an update of where we are at. And currently for Coleman Park, we are enrolled in the MPCA's Minnesota Brownfields program. We have been since we started with discovering the dump and figuring out what we can do to mitigate things out there. And that process has been moving along. We had to do the testing in the fall, and then we had to do it in the cold and warm. It's taken a while, but they've had to do their thorough research into this, and we've been working with Braun Intertech Corporation that's been doing, getting the process together, and they have put together an environmental investigative work plan. So they have a work plan together, and now we're at the stage where we have to implement that. And we were made aware that there is some funding available from Ramsey County. And so those of you will see at the council meeting on Monday, it'll be in front of the council. We are asking for a resolution of support to apply for one of these grants. It's actually called a Ramsey County Site Assessment Grant to help offset the cost of this environmental work plan. And you can apply for up to $25,000. So if council thinks that that's a valuable thing for us to do and they approve the resolution of support, then we will be applying for that grant to offset the cost. But whether we get the grant or apply for it or not, we're still moving forward with this process. So that is the next step in this, in Coleman Park, is implementing the environmental investigation work plan. And in a nutshell, just a brief capsule of what it is, it's the purpose of the plan is to evaluate the current soil and groundwater conditions within the proposed park improvement area. So specifically where we want to put the playground, to just really make sure that we're doing what we need to do before we put the playground in, and to evaluate the extent of buried waste associated with the above referenced site. They're going to do a little more testing, because I mentioned to the commission that when they were testing for methane, they do it in warm and cold weather. They had found the only place where there wasn't anything to worry about, but slightly higher methane levels, was actually over in the marshy area far away from the active part of the park. And they're pretty sure that that was just due to natural decomposing of green matter. But they're just going to make sure they're being very thorough, as we want them to be, just to evaluate this site. So we are moving forward with that. And like I said, the grant would be great to get, but regardless of that, we're moving forward. And the goal is, we've let the MPCA know that we would like to install the playground in summer, early fall at the latest, and they know that for the time frame. So we're moving along, and if everything keeps going according to plan, you know, we're hoping to have that playground in by early fall, so. Yes. Oh, Tuesday, sorry, because of Memorial Day. So, yeah, the May 26th meeting on Tuesday. Yep, it's on the consent agenda, but we're just asking for a resolution of support to apply for that grant, so. So, yeah, that's the update for Coleman. And there will be another letter going out to the neighborhood to update them on where we're at with this, and it should be going out shortly. They'll be sending it from Public Works. Okay, and then moving on to Harvest, we've got a fun update for the Harvest Park Master Plan, you know, the Phase 2. We're working with LHB to get the South End project up and running, and they put out an RFP for geotechnical services, and the group that was selected, it's just coincident, was Braun Intertech. They were the group that are going to be doing the geotech work. And so just to remind people, I'll pull up, if I can have the computer, I'll pull up the plan just so you can see it again, because I know we've talked about it, but just to remind everybody, you know, we're working on the south end of the park there where the bike skills course area is, the parking lot, and then the pickleball courts and the basketball court, and those are the areas we're focusing on. This screen here shows the different phasing. So Phase 2, if you can see that, is that whole area, and while we won't be building the bike skills course yet before the end of the year, but they're going to be laying that out, and we're working with the to get that designed so we can move forward with it. But what we'll be working to do is the parking lot, which is the 40-stall parking lot, the pickleball complex, and the basketball court. And so they are going to be going out there, and we are actually, if you see work happening out there in the next couple weeks, they are going to be doing their borings, and so I'm just going to show you the map of what that looks like. So they sent that over, I think, did we get this today maybe? Trying to remember. But they are going to be going out and doing testing. All those spots there are where they're going to be doing borings in the soil and on the courts, just to see what we're working with for the project. And they will be doing some of them, as you see, on the tennis courts and the existing basketball courts. So once that starts, those will be out of commission then for the summer, because they'll actually be drilling holes in there. And we have to peel back the fencing so they can get their rig in. So if you see something happening out there, that's what we're doing. So they'll be getting going, but it's excited that it's moving along. So any questions about that? Is it a bike, skate, which skate, or we don't know? Oh, for it's a bike skills course, yes. Okay. Yep. Kind of an off-road. It's going to have elements because it just ties in so perfectly with the Bruce Vento Trail right there. So yes.
Well, I've been out to the playground twice. It's great.
Yay. Yeah.
I haven't gone on, but I've
Oh, you should. Gotta go down the slide.
others to go on.
Yeah. So that is the update with Harvest, and yeah, and the colors you all picked they're fun. I'm glad we went with fun colors, because when you drive into that park, it's just there it is. It's fun to see. So those are the updates I have on those two items, and then we'll get to our updates after you're done. But if there's any questions, otherwise we can just move on.
I don't believe we have any more visitor presentations. Any commission presentations? Nope, so we will let the staff take it away.
All right. And since we have Neil here, and I'll pull up the flyers and Neil can share. So I'll do the baseball flyer first. Just on some upcoming, he's kind of talked about it, but you can see more of what's coming for Rev Sports.
This was the one that was in the Rev Sports portion of it, but we got baseball coming up. So we'll have 2 sessions in one kind of late June, then one in July, and they'll rotate into soccer. So those are registering and open now.
Okay. And then we'll do
And they're outside on the baseball fields at Edgerton, by the way.
always pops up.
And this one is the soccer. So after baseball, then it'll roll into the soccer. And those will be late late July and into August when the soccer session starts. And these are just kind of snapshots that we will use when we put them on like social media, and then we have like the details and information in there below, and the QR code is one that I created that just sends you to the website. So trying to eliminate some of the clutter off the flyers for our communications team.
And then, Neil, I believe youth scholarship monies are still available for
Yes,
people to receive?
youth scholarship money is still available, so if there is anybody that needs assistance in any way that lives in Maplewood, there's the button, click right on there, and it's a form on the website that sends it out to me, and then we can get everything squared away for you. And we pay for anyone that's approved, has 2/3 of the rent entry fee paid for by the scholarship fund. Then they're only responsible for 1/3.
I think, and then, here we go.
Oh, yes.
We have a visual for the Golden Frisbee Hunt coming up.
Fresh, hot off the presses today, the updated flyer for this year.
It's not letting me do the first one.
So it kind of all started as a nod to the National Get Outdoors Day, which is Saturday, June 13th. Free park entry for, I think, all state parks, and I'm assuming, I think national too. We kind of piggyback on that. So if anybody out there goes hunting and you're the lucky winner, you can email us at the Recreation Online with a picture of your finding it. Otherwise, you can send us a message on the Facebook page. But clues will be starting right at 8 a.m. on our Facebook page. And that QR code will take you to the Facebook page.
And then the last update I have is on the, little bit about the tennis courts that were refinished and the basketball court down at Pleasant View. The temperatures have been too cold overnight yet for them to get out. They've been waiting to paint those basketball courts, but they are scheduled for Friday to put the final paint on the basketball courts, so that will be complete. But the pickleball courts have been a huge hit at Pleasant View. In fact, we had left one net at tennis, one at pickleball, and people had called, and they are now both at pickleball because they're playing there all the time. And I actually got an email from Swim and Fitness Club in Woodbury saying that someone they knew lives in the Pleasant View neighborhood and loved the courts and thought it was so great, so they're thinking of redoing theirs, and they asked who we use, so they're loving them. So it's been a great thing to do, and it's glad to see the people are out there. And the basketball courts will be done on Friday, so that will be complete. And they are going to be starting work, I believe it's next week, at Four Seasons. So that's all moving along too. So that will be some fun new amenities in the city of Maplewood. So, and then I'm just going to say a little thing about student commissioners. We still have one opening available, and I did share the student commissioner application again. But we did reach out to our current student commissioners to see if they were interested in reappointment for another year. And I'm happy to say that Rory and Saham and Jocelyn have all said that they want to stay on to continue. So it's very exciting. And we're looking forward to the summer, and hopefully you guys will be able to make the summer events like you did last year. It was great having you at those. And I lied, I have one more thing. You know, I talked about the community center. We wanted to do the tour. And I'll send an email up because there's 2 people missing, but just to figure out a time when we would want to take that tour, I was thinking in June might be a good time if you want to, but, you know, just trying to set up a time with the Y to go over and take our tour. So I will follow up with you on that, and that's all that I have.
If there is nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.